You know, some famous old Italian dude once said, "Scabada-bici, babada-bibi," which roughly translates to, "Every wheel of cheese is a pizza waiting to be made." Cheese! My name's Mikey, and I couldn't agree.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the brand new Donutman to Superman sub-playlist where I make high-protein, low-calorie foods. We do not have a name for this playlist yet, but we're working on it. Today we're going to make the favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pastime snack, which is pizza. I'll have the nutrition facts posted up top now. Here's the nutrition facts for the pizza. I'll also have a MyFitnessPal meal linked in the description. We're going to start off by making the dough. First thing we need is a mixing bowl. Next up, we need a gram scale, so we're just going to toss that underneath our mixing bowl. We're going to need self-rising flour. Now, you could use regular flour and use yeast. They were out of yeast, so I used self-rising flour. Measuring cup, a mixing utensil, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, and then some kind of straight edge. I'm using a butter knife. It's just to round out the scoop of flour. So we're going to get about 1 cup of our flour into our mixing bowl. And then we're going to set our flour off to the side. Keep it in reach because we are going to use it again soon. Now I'm going to prep our plain Greek yogurt. You want to make sure to use non-fat. That way we keep those calories low and keep that protein high. We're going to get 142 grams of this Greek yogurt on top of our flour. Then we're just going to mix it with our wooden spoon or whatever mixing utensil that you have until it becomes kind of clumpy, more of a homogeneous mixture, as little dry flour in it as you possibly can. Don't worry about the flour falling off over the edges. I honestly just push it off onto the floor and then I sweep it up later. It's a lot easier to deal with that way. Alright, now that we have it nice and clumped together, we're going to powder our hands with some flour so the dough does not stick to our fingers. We're just going to knead it inside of the bowl for a little bit, making one nice ball of dough. After we get our ball of dough, we take it out of the ball, and we're going to prep our work surface just by putting some flour down on top of it so the dough doesn't stick to that either. Now we're just going to knead this a little bit. You don't have to go too crazy kneading it because we are going to refrigerate our dough for 18 to 24 hours. But get it nice and kneaded so it's a nice homogeneous ball. Then ball it up, and you're going to stick this in a Tupperware container and refrigerate it for anywhere from 18 to 24 hours. And after our dough sits, we're going to come back and get right into making our sauce. While making our sauce, we're going to have our oven preheating to 500 degrees with a sheet pan already in there. We want it preheating for at least 1 hour. For our sauce, we're going to have some oil simmering over medium heat and add a little bit of roughly cut garlic. Allow that to cook for around a minute or so, or until it is fragrant. Next, we're going to add a little bit of red pepper, and we're going to let that cook for about 15 to 30 seconds. And after that had about 15 to 30 seconds, we're going to add in our pureed tomatoes. Now, you're better off adding extra pureed tomatoes more than what's in the recipe. That way you have extra. We're going to weigh it out before it goes on the pizza, but you don't want to be stuck with not enough sauce. For more of a New York pizza shop taste, we're going to add in a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of dry oregano. Now mix it together. Final ingredient in our sauce is a couple leaves of basil. I toss them in whole because I'm just going to fish them out after the sauce cooks for 30 to 40 minutes so all the ingredients can become friends. While my sauce is cooking, I like to prep my pizza pies. We're going to start off with a little bit of flour, once again prepping the work surface. I'm just going to dump some flour on there, spread it around. This is once again so the dough doesn't stick. Going to grab one of the balls of dough that we had sitting in the fridge, and we're just going to toss it right on top. Now, some people prefer to just use their hands to make their pies. I, however, use a rolling pin because I'm not that good at it. One of the things that I learned from binging with Babish is to take your ball, roll out half of it, spin it around, roll out the other half, and you can go back over it again until you get it as flat and round as you want it. Now, we're not going for a perfect circle. Afterwards, we're going to stretch it out using our knuckles and gravity. If you want to do the pizza spin, go right ahead, be my guest, but gravity works just as good. Now, being that I do not have a pizza peel, I'm going to try to use the bottom side of this sheet pan, which is not easy. I'm going to add a lot of dry flour so that it slides a little bit better. And we're going to toss our semicircular pie right on top of here. As you can see, it slides around a little bit. Once we get our ingredients on, it doesn't slide around that well anymore. We're going to add 130 grams of our pizza sauce. I'm going to use a ladle to spread around our pizza sauce. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect. I got a little bit closer to the edge than I would like to. That's the one thing that I would recommend not doing, is going over the top and ending up spreading it way too close to the edge. That's exactly what controls the amount of crust that you have and the way your crust comes out. Now we're going to add 150 grams of shredded fat-free mozzarella. Now, I'd recommend finding fresh fat-free mozzarella if you can and shredding it yourself. However, I wasn't able to find that, so I'm using pre-packaged fresh mozzarella, and it ends up coming out pretty good anyway. Now, we're going to take this and toss it in our oven that we had preheating at 500 degrees for at least an hour, and let it sit in there from anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I let mine cook for 12 minutes. And now, the pizza is done. My first pie did not come out too great. Obviously, it's nowhere close to a circle. Honestly, it fell off the pan while I was trying to get it into there because it doesn't slide off the sheet pan that well. Second pie came out much better. I added a lot more dry flour to my sheet pan. That's the one that you guys saw me make. Now let's chop up that first pie that I forgot to put basil on, and we'll give it a little taste. Now I'm using a knife. I did get a pizza cutter, but Amazon took forever to ship it, and then it came the day after I made pizza. Now we'll grab this slice right here and give it a taste. So for someone who's kind of like a pizza snob, growing up in New York, eating a lot of different New York pizza from all different pizzerias across Long Island, the pizza's actually pretty good. Is it New York pizza? No. But if you're trying to get protein pizza, I would definitely eat this. The issue that I have with this pizza here is that the dough didn't cook all the way through, and I think it has to do with the yogurt inside of the dough, or that I didn't make it thin enough. But honestly, it's like a really good thickness of dough. It's just not as firm as I would like it to be. But I would definitely eat this in replacement of something like DiGiorno's or another home pizza that you can make, especially because of the amount of protein in it for the amount of calories. Now let's chop up the next pie and give this one a taste. Now really the only difference with this one is that it was more of a circle. It cooked a little bit better, and I put basil on top, and I love fresh basil. So grab this slice right here and give this one a little taste. Honestly guys, dough cooked a little bit better. Still a little less firm than I would like it to be, but adding the fresh basil to the top gives it more of a fresh taste to it, being that the mozzarella wasn't fresh, and I'd highly recommend it. Now guys, you could add any toppings that you want to this pizza. You can cut the amount of dough in half and make it more of a personal pizza size thing, and then add different kinds of proteins to the toppings. That way, you are hitting higher proteins for lower amounts of calories. That's something that I plan on experimenting with soon, since I really like barbecue and buffalo chicken pizza, and it would add more protein and completely different flavors to it. And guys, I'm going to end off the very first episode of Cooking with Superhero Jack right here. Now, that is not the official name. Like I mentioned before, we do not have an official name. Leave comments down below with recommendations on what this sub-playlist should be named. Also, let me know if you want to see more of these cooking videos. I really enjoy making them, and I'm just curious if you guys enjoy watching them, and if you'd like to see more low-calorie, high-protein recipes in the future. And if so, what kinds of foods would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. But remember to hit that like button, subscribe, Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Follow me on Instagram at RyanRemainPhoto. Follow the Superhero Jacked account at Superhero Jacked Official. And I'll see you guys real soon. Stay classy, superhumans.